Okay, so now we are missing only one step, which is to create the Kafka producer. Maybe you already did it on your own now, but let's go ahead and do this together. So basically we want a Kafka producer. So let's go ahead and do Kafka producer, string, and that's our producer. And basically we want a function called create Kafka producer, something like this. So we have to go ahead and create this function. So we'll go all the way at the bottom and say public, it returns a Kafka producer of string, and we'll call it create Kafka producer. Now here, you know the drill, you know how to create a Kafka producer. So because we want to be efficient, we're going to go back to our first tutorial, get one of our producer demo, and copy this entire thing right here. Go back to our code and paste it. Press OK to import. And so we have the Bootstrap server to set, which we have already set, so that's good. The properties, so Bootstrap server, key serializer, and value serializer as strings. And we have a producer being created right here. And this is what I'm going to return in my function. I'll return the producer. Okay. So now at the top, we have a Kafka producer and it's been created. And so basically what we want to do is every time we're done, we'll do a producer.send. So we can log the info as a message, but we can also do producer.send, and then we'll send a producer record. So new producer record. And here we have to make decisions. So the first topic, the first argument is topic. So we'll call it Twitter_tweets. And then when you set a key and a value, so the key for now, you can play with it, but we'll set it as null, and the value itself is going to be the message. And so here we'd say producer.send producer record. Now we want to be able to intercept errors, so we'll have a new callback on completion, and we say if e is not equal to null, so if there's an error, then we'll do logger.error, and we'll say something bad happened, and we'll just display the error message right here in this logger. So this looks like correct, okay? So the one thing I told you is that when we have a producer, we can't let it produce to a topic that doesn't exist, so we'll have to create that topic right now. Okay, so now we have to use Kafka topics to create our topic. So we'll say Kafka topics -- zookeeper, which is 127.001.2181, okay? Then we'll have to create a topic, which is called Twitter_tweets, with 6 partitions and with a replication factor of 1. So this is the full command. Just make sure you have the right port for Zookeeper, obviously, and press enter. And at the end it says created topic Twitter tweets. So that's the first thing. We need to make sure that our topic is fine. The second thing I want to do is to basically launch a Kafka console consumer on our topic. So bootstrap server 127.001.9092, and then we'll have to follow a topic. So this topic is going to be Twitter tweets, and that's about it. Press enter, and now our consumer is starting. So obviously nothing is happening because we haven't started producing to it just yet. So let's go back to our producer and make sure everything looks fine. So it seems like we have, all the checks done correctly. We have the callback. We have the Twitter tweets as a correct output topic, and we have a logging of errors if something happens. So this is good. Everything looks correct. Now I'm ready to just go ahead and run this. So let's run this application. And so as you can see, the Kafka producer is getting started, and some messages are being produced. If we go back to our consumer, we can see that messages are being produced as we speak. There's a lot of outputs. Now, something you can do to make it a bit more fun, we can stop this one. So I'll stop the code, and we'll follow the Kafka tweets. So let's just make a parameter of what we want to follow. So here we do new array list, and we'll say the terms is going to be something at the very top. So let's just go ahead and cut this to the top right here, and we'll say we'll follow the terms Kafka, and that's it. But you could add more terms if you wanted to, like Java. Okay, so we'll follow Kafka, and I'll restart my producer. And so now you can just go ahead and tweet about Kafka in this course to see if the tweet appears in your thing. So let me go ahead to Twitter. So I'll go to twitter.com right here. I can say at Stefan Marek's Kafka course is awesome. Something like this. So I have the Kafka term in there, so it should be picked up by our application. I'll tweet this. Now let's go to our application. And as we can see in here, we have my tweet that just appeared at Stefan Marek's Kafka course is awesome. So here it is. And obviously now it's in Kafka as well. So you can see that the tweet I just posted directly ended up in our application in real time. So this is pretty awesome. So here we have a Twitter producer. So you can play with these a little bit. You can even also play with adding a shutdown hook. So for example, you would say add a shutdown hook. And so you say runtime.getRuntime.add shutdown hook, new thread, and I'll just use a lambda function here. And then I can just have whatever I want. So I can say logger.info, stopping application. And so what do we have to stop? We have to stop the Twitter clients. So client.stop. And then we'll also have to stop our producer. So producer.close. So we can say stopping application. We can say shutting down clients from Twitter. And we can say shutting down, closing producer. And finally, we'll say done. Okay, so that's about it. We have a nice loop. So let's just stop this and see if it works. We launch our Twitter producer and it seems to be working. Now, if I click on the exit button right here, it should say stopping application, shutting down Twitter client. And then it says closing producer to close the Kafka producer and done. And the reason we do close the producer is so that it sends all the messages that it still has in memory to Kafka before the application is shut down. So this all looks correct. We have a Twitter client working. I definitely encourage you to tweet about the course just to get some real-time feed into your application. And that's it. That's a Twitter producer you have created, a very robust one. So congratulations, and I will see you in the next lecture.